Playbaw Podcast. The 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 Playbaw Podcast. 3, 2. It's Jed the Sloth, the MILF Hunter. How you momming? And you're tuned into the Playbaw Podcast. Just what the world needs, another podcast. The Playbaw Podcast, episode 2. It's Jed the Sloth, the MILF Hunter. How you momming them? And you're tuned into the Playbaw Podcast, episode 2. Man, come on. What a week. It's been a roller coaster of a week. I just decided to do this podcast. Decided to do it. First one went pretty well, and I got way more feedback and interest and all that kind of stuff than I thought I was going to get. So, hooray. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to chop up all the stuff for social media, and it's a lot of fun to get all the elements and stuff together. This one, I hope I don't fuck it up, because I got a lot going on in it, but we're having fun. So, yeah, this past week I got a lot of feedback and stuff like that. One thing I didn't expect was to chop up a clip about the New Iberia ball cut and for it to blow up on TikTok. So it's at about 45,000 views on TikTok right now. Last week I went on a diatribe basically explaining what ball means, what a play ball is, all that stuff. And in the meantime, I just started talking about the ball cut, or what some people apparently call the Barry, the New Iberia haircut. And there is a lot of Louisiana culture on TikTok. It's enlightening to see. The older I get, the more in tune I get with my own culture. And yeah, the more in tune I get with my own culture and who I am as a person and how I can interact with people around me. And it's been interesting to see. And I can't wait to do it more. Towards the end of the show, I'll get more into that and my plans with that. Other things, something I plan to do from the moment I start this podcast was include some guests. And in the process of releasing the song Playbaw and all the content around it, a couple people have reached out. One would be Florida girl, extraordinaire, personality, whatever you want to call her. Her name's Venus Blue. Oh man, I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, so let me adjust that element there. Yeah, so she's cool. I'm gonna get her on the show. She's been a supporter. She's coming into Louisiana pretty soon here anyways. So she's been, I don't know, randomly I saw her supporting some of my play ball stuff, and then I said, hey, I'm starting this podcast, why don't you come on? And she's stoked. So more on that later. As well as somebody I've been knowing for a while I've been following her through TikTok for like a couple years. I was never really into TikTok that much. It kind of overwhelmed me at first, but I think I get it now. So, and I've been Snapchat friends with her. She's about as real Cajun as it gets. She from down the bayou. Her name, I knew all these elements wasn't going to work the right way. But she from down the bayou. Her name Barbara Jones. And she be doing all kind of Cajun stuff on TikTok. And she don't want... she a raging Cajun MILF from down the bayou. And she's a real big supporter of all kind of different people and stuff. And she from down the bayou ways. And a couple weekends she gonna come up here and come kick it with me in the Playbaw podcast. So get ready for that. And then another guest that I've talked to a little bit about coming on is a Baton Rouge Underground, Prince of Baton Rouge Underground, what I like to call him. I've been knowing about him for a number of years, back whenever I seen his band in high school called Mr. San Francisco at the Mid-City Ballroom years ago. And I've just seen him do this and that and this and that over the years, and now he's doing this thing called Neo Soul, as well as other things. So, I mean, pretty soon here we're going to have a Ethereal Jack on this mug, is what he goes by now. If you don't know him by now, I mean, you've probably seen him on social media. Hopefully you should. He wrote multi-talented dude. He plays guitar, he sings, raps, all that stuff. But I'll let him describe what he does more whenever he comes on to the show. I believe this a video look like that. I don't know if this is Neo Soul or not, but a video he's definitely involved in. It looked pretty good. as well as this video right here. I seen him on Instagram. Real creative. Kind of reminds me of my younger self whenever I wasn't afraid to experiment. You know what I'm saying? I know I see them fenders, man. I know you're into John Frusciante, and I know he's into only person in a while I ever seen reference Eddie Hazel, which, I mean, good job on that, man, because Eddie Hazel is like one of my biggest influences of all time. There would not be this Playbaw era without games, dames, and guitar things. So hopefully I can't wait till we get to talk about that later on the Playbaw podcast. Oh, so that's my intro. Man, my chest been hurting, man. That's another thing I need to talk about eventually is some health problems I've been having. Just, get it off my chest. So how everybody else's week going? Oh, chat blowing up. Wow, wow, wow. So one of the biggest things that went down this week for me was I went to teams in college don't have that kind of stuff no more because of the transfer portal. We have a coach that got offered a job by Georgia Tech, and he turned them down. People want to be here. People want to be around this culture. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. I'm going to say it all season long. I'm probably going to cover every single game. I'm not going to get all into a bunch of statistics and break things down. Enough people do all that kind of stuff. I'm just here to give it my own personal flavor from someone who loves the program, who played there, and it changed their life. So, it was a matchup for the ages, but the one big asterisk on the whole thing, and I'm not using it as an excuse, but Tulane has a really good quarterback, probably the best quarterback we've ever had in our school's history. But at the end of the South Alabama game, he got hurt. And I knew he was hurt. I could see it. And I think anybody that was watching the game could see it and was in denial about it the whole week. So the morning of the game, I'm packing up. I'm finna drive down to New Orleans. And they announced that Michael Pratt, our quarterback, is a game-time decision. So right then I knew he wasn't going to play. That being said, we started a kid who last year won us a game against Houston, who's now in the Big 12. He came in, never played, never started, nothing. He didn't even start that game. His backup got knocked out of the game, and he got put in, and he came in and won the game. So this weekend, he got the start. And I will be the first to say he held his own. He did about as good as I think he can. And that sounds like he didn't do well. He played his ass off. But there were, there's some things that, inexperience, miscommunication, stuff like that. Things that wouldn't have happened with Michael Pratt. Yes, I can walk away and be very proud of this football team and this program and where we're at. I still think we're the best team in Louisiana as it stands right now. LSU better beat Ole Miss. That's all I got to say, or at least do better than we did. But this was one of the most electric games I've been to in a while. I went to the Cotton Bowl last year in Dallas where we beat the Heisman Trophy winner and USC Trojans. I don't think I'll ever, unless we win a national championship or something like that, or a Sugar Bowl or something big. Oh, I don't think I'll ever experience anything like that. But one of my buddies was actually in town from Washington, D.C. He hasn't been to the new stadium. We graduated in 2012, 2013, back in those days. And I kept telling him, dude, So when I'll never forget it, when he walked out and he got to see, fucking all these people everywhere in this crazy game. They scored on us. We scored on them. His eyes just lit up. And he just knew it was a whole different thing than we could ever imagine. So, Tulane Green Wave hosting the Ole Miss Rebels. A lot of people were trying to pack into this smaller stadium to get in, and a bunch of people missed like the first two series. Me being one of them, I missed Ole Miss's first score right here. It didn't take them that long to score. They gashed us right here. We missed tackle, and Ole Miss scores within a minute. This guy Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback, very talented quarterback, man. This dude showed that he's the real deal. And our defense really played super well. But see here, right here, Kai Horton is our quarterback's name. He comes out, and he just drops sack immediately, and we gashed him. Look at that logo in that middle of that field. We gashed them for about 40 yards right here. We get it down to almost the 15-yard line, about 16, 17-yard line right there. Real good effort. I mean, in the red zone right off the bat. So first 5 minutes of this game is already just lightning. And then we punch it in. Why am I blanking on that dude's name? Number 21, young guy. There he is. Mekhi Hughes. He played his ass off. I forgive him for missing his block the previous week that got Michael Pratt peeled backwards. But I like the read right there. He punches in. He played real well the whole day. So here we go. We got a 77 ball game, and our defense is just imposing the will right off the bat. That guy pushes him down right there, and he starts swimming on the field. I'm sitting like right there above that A right there. I'm at field level. Don't ask me how, but it cost me an arm and a leg getting this game. And here we go, more pressure. We get 2 sacks right there. So first quarter, we're off the bat, we're playing tenacious. Here we go right here. They're already punting. I think this is their second punt of the game. He gives us a low punt, and this guy just breaks one. I mean, I can't really explain the emotions and the energy in the stadium right off the bat. I mean, I've never experienced a home field game like this. Definitely not in college. But here we go, young guy showing his inexperience there. Michael Pratt would not have let that happen in my mind. Valentino Ambrosio, our little Italian kicker, man. Everybody does the Italian hand emoji every time he makes one. It's a fun thing, there's a lot of inclusiveness in the program. Here we go, another dot right there. The guy's getting his first downs. He was played a really good first half. I can't really complain about his first half. Our offensive line was doing well. Here we go. This is his best play of the entire game. He throws it up. Receiver makes a play. Just burns the SEC West talent DB right there. Touchdown. We're up 17-7 in the second quarter. I mean, it's you're looking around, pinching yourself, and just hoping that everyone in the country is watching this game and realizing that the Tulane Green Wave is for real. Look at all that red. Look at all those Ole Miss people. Look at here. Guy just gets off the break, just burns the freaking safety. He can't get back. He doesn't know where the ball's at. Guy just makes an incredible catch. Touchdown, Tulane Green Wave, 17-7. I mean, that was a really good ball right there. I wish he would have remained consistent like that the rest of the game. But unfortunately, we'll see what happens. Yeah, that was just a pretty good catch. Defender just gets beat right there. So, and a lot of good synergy obviously right there between him and him and his other quarterback teammates. So, Ole Miss here. Look at it, man. That dude, Jackson Dart, he just makes plays with his feet and makes things happen. So, that's a nice first down right there for them. I knew about this guy since last year. I knew he was going to be really good. Getting some pressure once again, and he's just going to barrel out and make another first down. That's the type of stuff you got to do, and our quarterback was not able to do stuff like that this game. So, and then their kicker, who had an amazing day, notches one right down the middle. So, the end of getting towards the end of the first half, 17-10, and we get another first down right there. They were doing a bunch of goofy stuff right there all game. One of the things I was most proud of is we had a lot of penalties the first game. We didn't have that many this game. So here's another one right here. This became a Twitter video right here. The ball boy runs in. He tells him, hey, man, get back in the huddle. Get back in the huddle. Freaking ball boy with the awareness to that's how locked in they were. I mean, they came into the second. They went into halftime losing by a touchdown to freaking little old Tulane. Their sense of urgency picked up. It's probably about 4 in the evening at this point. Everyone's dog tired. It's hot. Everybody's sweating. And we're still hanging in there. We're still ahead, obviously, here. But we're going toe-to-toe with an SEC team right here. I mean, I'm not all for moral victories and all that, but, like, you can't deny this. So many people were hitting me up all week long. I've been getting into it with Tulane fans and in the groups and stuff like that because they always have this moral victory attitude whenever the rest of us are trying to be winners. But, you know, they start to really get their offense in motion here, you know, late in the third quarter, 17-7. You know, this is a nail-biter at this point. I mean, the stadium's going crazy for every play. I mean, I lost my voice. And he throws a pick. Huge pick from Robinson, number 7 right here. I mean, we're going ape shit in this fucking stadium right now. I'm losing my voice. I'm jumping up and down. But I'd say this is one of the most important plays of the game right here. So Kyle Horton, we get the ball right back from there, and he just chunks it right back to the Ole Miss Rebels right there. And guy gets a bunch of yards, gets way downfield. I'm not going to run the play back, but the dude was wide open running downfield right here. You see he runs a go route. And he's just going. He's wide open. Look at that. Guy's wide open. Michael Pratt would have chunked that thing downfield, but there's obviously some miscommunication right here, and he just throws it straight to the defense. This is a turning point in the game. And, you know, you can't really sum up how this game really went in this little highlight reel thing, but that was crucial, man. Look, we're in the fourth quarter now. They got the ball. That's huge momentum, and we just let him get loose right there. You know, the depth of an SEC football team kind of starts to show right here. So we also, defense played well, held them to not scoring a touchdown, and their kicker kicks another field goal. So still, it's only 20-17. They take their first lead on us, and the game is still ours to win. So, look, they have the ball again right here. That was right here is one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in person. You can actually, if you run it back, you can barely see me in the stands in that clip. But that was maybe one of the best catches I've ever seen in real life. This play right here broke my heart. We get the pressure. He shakes him. Defender gets beat, tries to go for the strip, touchdown. So now we are not down by 1 score. We're down by 2 scores now. midway, late in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was kind of a dagger shot right there. Football is a game of momentum, and it's more than just lining up, knocking people out. It's vibes. Vibes are big, And he comes right back, man. I was proud of him for this play right here, but the problem right here is we couldn't fucking put the ball in the end zone. We needed a touchdown right there. It's too late in the game. We needed that pick-me-up. We needed that. We needed to be 24-27 right here going into the, they needed to have that pressure, that they couldn't kick a field goal right here, but they did. And this dude hits like a 59-yarder, and that's that, man. I mean, that's basically the end of it. It's really hard to come back at this point. We all know it. And they're forcing you to basically try to, force something right here, and then this happens. Bam, dude gets smacked. Just a gimme for this big boy to just scoop and score. The play of his whole life. He's looking up in the stands like, man, he's going to remember this moment. But what I can say is I'll never forget this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we played up to the SEC level. And, I believe with Michael Pratt, we win this ball game. And I done walked out the stadium at this point. So basically they end up covering the spread. So the Tulane Green Wave, I hope everybody understands that they're the truth. They're the truth, and we're the real deal. One second. So yeah, I hope everybody understands that. I hope everybody understands that Tulane is the real deal. So tune in next week when we play the Southern Miss. What are they again? No, I'm kidding. We lost to Southern Miss last year. We need to redeem ourselves on that. So yeah, I see that producing your own podcast by yourself, doing the talent, everything, you can fuck up sometimes. So fuck the audio up or something there. I'll fix it in the post. Anyways, that is the football segment. I have kind of exhausted my energy. It's time to move on. That's why I decided to do these on Tuesday nights so I can move past things quicker. I don't want to harp on that game. We'll move on. We'll be great. Hopefully we can move on to be 13-1, this year, and just have this 2 great years in a row, and people will start taking us seriously. And I hope Pratt comes back healthy and goes on a great run. He's tied for the all-time touchdown record at Tulane. So, I mean, he should shatter that record. It's a tragedy that he got hurt, but it is what it is. All right. Something I talked about last week was AEW and the firing of CM Punk. And go back in the archive and look at episode 1 if you want to hear about that. But whenever you fire, for those of you who don't know, AEW made a show called Collision that was based all around CM Punk and a philosophy of professional wrestling. People that like this revolution, quote unquote, this cosplay, flippy floppy, New Japan style wrestling can watch Dynamite on Wednesdays. People who actually want real pro wrestling, who don't want to watch a 68-man tournament for a meaningless belt. People who want to watch actual wrestling, love drama, love angles, love big matches, can watch Collision. Well, they fired CM Punk. So what happens to Collision? Its viewership plummets in just a week. I want to say these were ratings before they fired Punk, so they're going to get even worse, but down to what's considered a 0.1 rating, I want to say. This is absolutely atrocious. I think AEW fans think that they've started some kind of counter-revolution, but that everyone in the wrestling world hates them and no one believes in them. But the fact is, you need to have a likable show so people will watch it and advertisers will spend money with you, or else the network, TNT, is going to kick you off the air, which is what's going to eventually happen, and they're just in denial about it. You got that one. I don't know if you can see this. You got this tweet. CM Punk, Ricky Starks, they're in an angle with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and now what? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to talk about that briefly, that AEW, they're run by billionaires, so I don't know. They probably have unlimited money and shit like that, but I'm not watching this shit. And then as far as WWE goes, because I can hear someone that's going to say, oh, you never talk about WWE. It's like, you won't catch me talking about WWE that much, because I can't hate on them, but it's just not for me. But at least they're running a professional wrestling company, which today is the first day, I think. I don't know the facts, but I know there's this TKO thing, I believe it's called, where Vince McMahon has sold some of the rights, or all the rights, I don't know, to WWE, to the people that run UFC or some shit. I'm not equipped to go too deep into the facts about that. But something that hits a little closer to home for me is Disobey. For those of you who don't know, what Disobey is, it's a entity that saved my life in some ways. I knew a wrestler by the name of JTM, that guy right there, and I noticed that in 2020, late 2020, I noticed that he wasn't what he used to be. The wrestling world, the independent wrestling world, was no longer honoring him the way they once were. I mean, he was the fighting champion. He was the first ever SEC title holder. Look at here. This is just a great spot right here. Whoa! So, anyways, I formed Disobey, just like it sounds, with JTM, along with his brothers Simon Phillips and Risen Brandon Collins. We proceeded the last 2 years to take over the independent professional wrestling world. There's been nothing like us. They've tried to oppress us everywhere we've gone. These guys are true sons of a preacher. They're real Christians and stuff like that, but whenever JTM got screwed years ago by Pro Wrestling 225 management, his cross that he's always been known for was converted into a target. And that was no bullshit. He went on a tear. Him and his brothers went on a tear to take over the wrestling world. And fast forward to a couple months ago, and Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Champions, CWF Milton, Florida tag team champions, Gulf State Wrestling tag team champions, as well as the CWF heavyweight title holder, Defiant Simon Phillips. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out how I can say this. Let me make sure the damn TikTok thing isn't playing again. I don't know quite how to say this. We have been going strong for about 2 years. Nobody can touch us. They told us, hey man, don't bring those crosses to this show. We don't want to offend people. We bring them anyways and we sell out of them. They said, hey man, we don't really like the kind of content you're putting out. You're being a little too real with people. Like, they want you to, blur the lines a little more. You're blurring them a little too blurry. Can you make them a little bit more easy to understand? The kids might be scared. The parents might not like the type of content that you're putting out and how you're representing yourself, and then they're going to get pissed and not come to shows anymore. Just as we expected. Whenever I was a little kid, I used to go to detention because of the DX. Suck it. I used to tell kids to suck it, and then I would get put in detention. And exactly, I said that same thing's going to happen with Disobey. All these kids are going to want to disobey because they're tired of that same old fucking John Cena, Marvel comic, fucking hoity-toity bullshit. And, man, I wish I had the element, but next thing we know, little kids are flipping us off and shit. Little kids, like 6, 7, 8 years old. They hate us, but they want to be just like us. And next thing you know, the little kids that hated us and were running up to our table and trying to steal our little crosses and belts, next thing you know, they got Disobey shirts on. You go back and you look into Disobey videos. And you'll see little kids, flipping us off and dancing to my song Heel Turn that Disobey comes out to in their entrance, and then looking around, making sure their parents aren't watching. Everything that I said was going to happen over the past 2 years has happened. And I think everyone in the wrestling world, independent wrestling world, they hate that. Because they've been doing the stuff that they've been doing for years, and it ain't getting the reaction that we get. Because what we doing is real. We're doing what they want to do. We're disobeying. We're changing the system. People went a long time without something real. The curtain has been peeled back for many years. And what we did was come around and yank the whole bitch off. Ain't no more curtain with us. Motherfuckers DM me and shit over stuff that we put out because they can't tell. They can't tell if it's real or not. Well, guess what? If you have to fucking ask yourself, then there's your answer. But when real shit goes down for long enough, some real shit is bound to happen. And I've been really busy lately, the last couple months, and I haven't been able to go to these Florida shows. I haven't been able to be around Disobey as much. So I don't really know what happened. I don't know what's happening. But I guarantee you I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Now, that being said, let me find my video right here. Pardon me. So, Disobey, like I said, they've been out in Florida, they've been out in Texas, they've been in Mississippi, and different promotions in Mississippi. We've been all around the Gulf Coast, disobeying, converting people to our message, and collecting gold belt after gold belt. Look, there goes one right there. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know who the fuck this dude is. But he's like a poser, disobey guy or some shit. I don't know what that cameraman right there is wearing. But anyways, some shit went down in Florida this last show where Simon was in the middle of a match and something went down with this dude here, and Brandon Disobey got involved. So look at here. We got some bullshit, some fuckery is what I like to call it. 1, 2, 3. That'll be Simon dropping the belt right there, I believe. See, I don't even know. So that's that. As far as that went down, and then Brandon gets in the ring. He tries to interfere. This guy's fucking with him. Simon's getting up. I mean, when you get real shit going down, real shit's gonna happen, and some dust ups happen, and people have discounted Brandon before, but bam, right there. That's the moment that I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about here, Simon gets up, tries to basically overstep his boundaries with Brandon, which he's done for a long time, and then Brandon looks like he done had enough, and he kicks his own brother in the fucking face. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen it happen, and it just is what it is. Whenever you're going hard, and whenever people are fierce and leaders and trying to change things, iron's gonna sharpen iron. But I never expected this to happen. We were going so good and so strong for so long that I didn't think it ever ended. I thought the only thing next was to go to like GCW or maybe AEW or something like that. But Brandon kicked Simon in the face, and I've seen evidence of it. He came out of his mask. He's been masked for about a year or two now, and he pulled the mask off. Now, whatever. All of that being said, all I know is that this weekend, Saturday, September 16th, in Albany, Louisiana, at Into the Hornet's Nest, Pro Wrestling 225, Disobey is going to defend the Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Champions against these clowns, The Pillar. Now, I got respect for Dale Springs. He's talented. Him and Simon have a fierce rivalry going on that has gotten out of hand and more than I'm capable of really keeping up with. But I can tell you, I can guarantee you this Saturday in Albany, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be close to the situation. I'm going to make sure that that was just a hiccup in Florida. Nothing like that will happen again. We are the longest reigning 225 champions in pro wrestling 225 history. And it's going to stay that way. And also, my mouse lost power. Real shit happens. So, this weekend, be there at Albany High School, Into the Hornet's Nest. Disobey is going to defend the Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Champions once again. We'll be right back on track. We'll pick up the GSW titles again, and it's only a matter of time for one of our guys picks up either the SEC title in Pro Wrestling 225, maybe back to its rightful owner of JTM, or the Pro Wrestling Heavyweight title. You know what I'm saying? I don't see those tag titles going anywhere anytime soon. I don't see why they would. Because I'm here to tell you, just like JTM said it 2 years ago, whenever he introduced his brother, Defiant Simon Phillips, into the ranks. Disobey is about family. They've been a family to me. You know, I don't have much family, and Disobey has been my family. I've been a pro wrestling fan since I was 4 years old, probably. I grew up watching people like Razor Ramon, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, you name it. I idolize these guys. There's a Stone Cold WWF, not E, blanket hanging over my bed to this day. Not embarrassed about it. And it's been one of the biggest prides of my life to help these guys become some of the biggest, baddest, most dominant, undeniable. I've had guys come up to me and said, look, nobody's doing it like you guys. We've had people pose and wear Disobey gear at other promotions and stuff like that. We actually have a dude in Brazil who photoshops himself in the pictures with us. You see 3 of them right there in the flyer? He'll Photoshop them in the back or in the side or some shit like that. Disobey is global. It's worldwide. It's in full effect. And it's going to be in full effect like you ain't never seen before this Saturday. Let me get my mouse. Fuck. All right. You get the element off the screen. I promise you next episode will be better than this one. The more I do these, the better I'll get. Put it to you that way. All right. So, those are the main take-home points that I want to talk about. That one right there, I got real somber. I don't even know, I dropped the vibe down because it really bothers me, but I don't want to get too deep into it. Disobey means so much to me, and I've had so much other stuff going on lately that it's really hard for me to even confront the fact that I wasn't there. I don't get in the ring and wrestle with them, but them guys make me feel like I'm such a big part of everything. They make me feel like there would be no Disobey without me. So without me there, I feel like I take responsibility in some kind of way. Because this is not something that was talked about. This is not something that I knew about. This is completely curveball. I see that picture of Brandon's bare naked face, his baby face, his Steve Buscemi looking ass face. I haven't seen that face in a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I get on the Instagram and I see his fucking mug looking out at them Florida rednecks, my heart dropped. I didn't know what the fuck's going on. You mean to tell me my team, Tulane Green Wave, loses to Ole Miss and this happens all in one weekend? Happy fucking birthday. So that being said, I did have some fun on TikTok this week with Louisiana culture, which brings me to my next thing. I want to implement as much of that shit into this as I can. I'm a Louisiana ball. I've been a Louisiana ball my whole life. And I never really knew where my Louisiana culture fully fit into none of this stuff that I'm doing. So I want to get in contact with other influencers. One dude that comes off the top of my head is a guy named Louisiana Dread. I saw him on Instagram. He does this gumbo review. You know, it's real popular for people to do reviews and stuff like that. Hold the Mayo does RB&R Day with the red beans and rice. He does a gumbo review. I've seen this one dude. He does a muffalata. You know, stuff like that. You got Brits Cooking. That's another one right there. Brits Cooking. I could just listen to her talk all day long. Her accent is just, and she's also a really good cook and MILF. But this Louisiana Dread dude, he does Louisiana history, which even I learned stuff that I never knew. He does these gumbo reviews, Gumbo Review. And he does a horror anthology series where it's like the face is like deep fake or AI or something like that. It's some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. And it's from the perspective of these historic people. And he was around the stadium the other day. He looked, at Tulane, and I was trying to link up with him and maybe get a little content. So, yeah, I definitely want to tap into my Louisiana culture. Mardi Gras will be coming around the corner. Hopefully, I'm more into this further. Check out my Jed the Sloth on TikTok. I mean, I'm getting a lot of Louisiana followers. I'm seeing a lot of stuff. Hopefully we can get more in depth. And if you have any suggestions for Louisiana influencers and content, let me know. So, I'm going to wrap it up with that. I hope that clarifies everything with this Obey that I know about, and I hope to see you guys there this Saturday if you can make it. And Pro Wrestling 225 Into the Hornet's Nest. The Tulane Ole Miss game, I hope you watched, and if you didn't, I hope I gave you a genuine rundown that you can understand. And I hope you're ready for all my amazing, interesting guests coming up. And I have a lot more guests planned than those. Obviously, got some more technical things to figure out to accommodate guests. Maybe we'll switch up the locations. Sometimes I'm trying to do some remotes. Some of the time I might not be able to be live. I'll do live to taping, and I'll just run it live. But the comment section is very important to me. And I see y'all been commenting all up in this mug. And so, stick with it. This is just what the world needs. Another podcast. This is Jed the Sloth, White Dirt. Catch you on the next round. The Playbaw Podcast.